almost got a beer just for
Yeah.
yourself? All right. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
This is huge.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
Having us.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sauce.
And
The cloud
welcome
cap.
back to
Gorgeous.
another podcast here on the Broadwater. We got some guests today. We got Josh and we got Brendan from Aquaflux, and we're very excited. It's been quite a morning.
Full morning.
Oh, you can tell them what we did this morning. Tell them what you took us through.
So pretty much, I'll go through the first bit, but we pretty much did a 100 rep workout. So that's 100 reps on each exercise we did. So 10 sets of 10. Did about 5 exercises ranging from pull-ups, chin-ups, and also push-ups and stuff as well. And then we finished on...
Then we finished on some stair kind of hill sprints. Just 10 reps of that.
Dude, I must say, like, because we've been obviously doing some working out between the three of us and everything, but you guys take it to another level. You guys are strong boys, man. It's been really good because, like, yeah, we start pushing ourselves, and like you start to realize that you can actually mentally go further than what you think.
Exactly,
especially when you're training with people that
It's the beauty of a team workout.
absolutely.
It sets the standard a bit higher than...
Yeah, definitely.
So on the way
Benchmark.
there in the car to Jason, I was like, they'll probably get us 3 sets of 10 on something. And then we rocked up. It's like, no, we'll do 10 sets of 10.
Absolute
as
depth.
we're going to do. Let's
Absolute
go.
depth. Now, just to introduce you guys to everyone that's listening and everyone that's watching, what's Aquaflux? What are we talking about here?
So
what are you guys all about?
Pretty much Aquaflux is our brand, but we do a foam roller water bottle. So 1.2 litres, it holds up to 150 kilos, made from recycled stainless steel material. So that's pretty much what we started with, but then we've also tried to build our brand more into like a lifestyle training. We've got like training club tees where we love to get together, meeting up with boys like you guys, catching up and just running through like different exercises, different routines, just mixing it up as well while we're having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's trying to target kind of the fitness industry from the point of view of trying to prevent injury instead of trying to recover from injury.
From injury, yeah.
Yeah, so all those people that are trying to, obviously they focus really a lot on warming up, warming down, rolling out, stretching, things like that. It's good to target like from their point of view because a lot of people do skip it out, which it's easy to do because you're training for an hour and a half every day. You don't really want to do a half an hour extra of rolling or stretching.
for sure.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
But in the long run, it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, and I mean, you know your stuff. I mean, we're sitting with someone who used to be a professional footballer in Germany. So these two boys here, obviously very fit, very strong. They know what they're talking about, and congratulations on the brand and everything, guys. And I wish you all the best with it.
It's good to see.
It's a good, really good
appreciate
concept. Really good to see some locals doing some business here on the Gold Coast, and yeah, I wish you all the best.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Now, we having you guys on the show is very important because obviously the Broadwater Collective, we're all about cultivating positivity through health, wealth, and wellness. So today's episode is going to be very centered on that health stuff, and because I think you two would be very knowledgeable on that. But before I start asking you questions, can you just give us a bit of a background on where you came from, your training, from when you were younger, from high school onwards kind of thing to, obviously being a professional footballer, your routines and everything that you guys would be doing as a team would have been like absolutely insane. Yeah. So do you guys want to just give us a bit of a background?
You go first.
I'll start, So pretty much I've just been playing soccer or football since I was like a little kid.
Yeah.
And then probably around the age of like between 12 and 13, my dad asked me like a serious question, like, is this what you want to do? If you want to pursue this, that's fine. But then we'll go give it 100%. And then from about 14 upwards, I was doing like PTs in the morning. And then when I was at Palm Beach Common School, I was training at school for the Sports Excellence program and then training in the evening as well.
Yeah.
So then I was doing that. I was a 16-year-old playing in the under-19s, was a captain of the team for the Queensland League. And then we did a trip to Germany. I ended up getting scouted, so I went back for a 4-week trial. And I just never came back, stayed there for 6 years.
Wow.
Played semi-professional there. So 4th league, still get crazy crowds, crazy atmosphere. And I mean, people are earning a lot of money in 4th league there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people on night contracts and stuff like that as well. So it was a great experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then being over there is like that, the different levels of like being professional is just, there's a big step, like, Europe's definitely ahead of its game. I mean, up there with America, definitely.
Wow.
Professionalism.
100%. Exactly. Like even small things like younger players, after every training session, you have to check in that you're going in your ice bath. You're doing like you have to get it signed
Oh,
off,
no way.
and you have to do it. Yeah. There's penalties, there's fines if you don't do that as well. So you're getting fined cash as
Crazy.
well.
Yeah.
So that's from your paycheck. So
Yeah.
I suppose like you guys have to be peak performance, and they know how to do that and train
Exactly.
you that way. So if
But
you're
it's-
not following it,
Yeah, that's crazy
And
how
it-
they monitor that.
it
and
all
deal
starts with the
that.
routine as well. Like different trainings in the week, we have different jerseys that we wear. If you got the wrong jersey, you're getting fined. If you get,
No
you know,
way.
yeah,
Just discipline.
just discipline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your boots aren't clean, you're getting fined.
So how
Things
old were
like
you
that.
when you moved over there?
So I moved over there in
Keep going.
2012 in January. So I was 16. I turned 17 in February.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was
You
quite
didn't
young.
finish
still.
school.
What an
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
That's crazy.
that's a lot to take on as a young man.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I had so much hours of training and commitment behind me. It wasn't really an issue to do it.
Yeah.
It was like, this is why I did this.
Yeah.
So to go over there, like, of course, like you get homesick and stuff like that. But I mean, when you're doing something that you love day in, day out, like you wake up every morning just looking forward to training, looking forward to the game on the weekend. then
100%.
It keeps you kind of grounded and it keeps you focused.
You must have grown up pretty quick.
Oh, I had to, definitely. Obviously, I missed a lot of, like, say, teenage stuff
Yeah.
that I didn't get into, but I still wouldn't have given it up for the opportunity and the experiences I've had, the people that I've met.
So what sort of crowds would you have been in front of?
So it depends. Like, there were smaller clubs that we'd played, it was only a couple of hundred, but then you have, like, bigger clubs, like real traditional, where they have their ultras, like nearly 20,000 people at the games.
Wow.
And, yeah, and they're going off. Like you can't hear anything on the field. You can't hear like a person 5 meters.
You may
You
call
can't-
them for the ball. You're just like,
No,
"Bruh,
no,
can't
yeah.
do it."
Yeah,
Run
that's-
sign language.
And that's one of the things like people don't realize is when you're playing such a like that's not even that big of a crowd like in terms of like football wise, but you can't hear anything if you don't see it. It's not there to you. You can't hear your coach. Yeah, you can't hear people calling for the ball or it's open on behind you. If you don't look, it's not there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting because when
Whole
you're
different
growing
style.
up and you're playing less professional, you know, you hear your mates calling out, yeah, pass over here,
Yeah.
yeah, do this. But in the professional league, you've got to have the ability to adapt.
It's almost like
Yeah.
another
to-
instinct.
Yeah.
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 And just
Yeah.
drill.
To know
You just
your
know
norms.
they're going to be there. You
Exactly.
Know you've got to
Yeah.
get there. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like you just certain balls you turn and you send it because you know the person has to run. If he's not running, that's on him then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're not the one getting in trouble. So,
Yeah.
it's all routines as well.
Yeah. And like from a team point of view, in that 6 years, where you like, do you stay as a team, or is your performance based on like you're staying next year?
Yeah,
Like, if you
pretty-
don't perform, you don't stay.
It all depends on like who your manager is, like
Yeah.
how good you're playing, what
Yeah.
the club wants, if the club sees a future with you. But a lot of the boys, I was lucky because I stayed with the same team for a lot of the years.
Yeah.
So I knew a lot of the boys since like when I was younger. Like even when I first came to the first team, I was quite young. So the boys that were like the captains and stuff like that, they were much older, like
Yeah.
27, 28.
Yeah.
Just took me under their wing, and that helped a lot because like
Yeah.
my German got better slowly, but I started with I didn't know a word of German.
Oh, yeah, then I'll be speaking German.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So then
fluent,
Screaming at you in
You fluent
German.
German?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fluent in German now.
That's cool.
Yeah, but like they
Wow.
took me under their wing, and like I'm so grateful that like even when I left, there was the same boys that took me under their wing that came to the airport and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Makes a big difference.
Oh, it makes a huge
Sort of a
difference.
second family.
Mate,
stuff.
Oh,
that's-
definitely.
You know,
definitely.
good on you for getting to that level in a football career, man. A lot of people strive and strive and strive, but it just goes to show, man. You know, local here on the Gold Coast, grows up to go play football in Germany. You know, if you set your mind to it, you can do it.
Exactly, yeah.
There's no reason why
Have that
anybody
discipline.
listening to this, or you know, younger generations coming
Exactly.
through, always back yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just, and that's the thing. Hard work outdoes natural
Anything
talent.
else, yeah.
Any
You
of
reckon?
that.
It's
Yeah.
always
All
that,
that.
Yeah.
I'm a
one,
believer
that
of
one
that
question
too.
from your
That's-
dad.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how serious are you?
Yeah,
about this?
100%.
Sparked something.
And like a lot of the players I probably shouldn't have played in front of or started in front of in teams.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm there all the time, I'm before training, it's just that drive. And it's like, also not only that, but it's like their families are there.
Yeah.
They can relax when they go
Yeah.
home. They got their girlfriends. I got nothing. This is what I have to
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not sitting on the bench
Yeah.
to not be
100%.
at home. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not giving everything up to
Yeah.
sit on the bench. I'm gonna be playing. I need to
Yeah.
be playing. Whereas
Yeah.
for them, it's like I want to play,
Yeah.
but it's not like it doesn't become a need because
It becomes your life.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's inspiring.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
inspiring.
and
It's crazy.
I'm shocked we're here on our 5th episode and we've got someone, you know, an ex-professional footballer here talking with us. Like, this is amazing. So thanks for being
That's
here.
great, yeah.
That's
Oh
great.
no,
It's good.
happy to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
And Josh, what about yourself, man?
Yeah, so pretty much I went to college with Jason and Chris, Kings in UQ.
Yep.
So I did engineering with them actually. So we went through our whole degree. I think you finished, yours was 6 years though because you did an extra.
Mine was 5.
Yours was
yeah,
5
because
years.
I did
yeah.
business with the
Because you did
engineering.
business as well. So we finished a year before you. But
Yep.
I was similar as Chris, an engineer. I did that. I did fly in, fly out for around 6 months, and then I just hated it. I hated every second of it. It just wasn't my thing. Like I enjoyed like the challenge of what like the tasks they were giving me, but I just knew it wasn't for me. So I was like, next thing I'm going to try now is the other side, which is consulting, consultation. So I was like, what better place to do it than the Gold Coast? Luckily, one of our mates' dads just started his own consulting engineering company here. So he took me under his wing as well, and then I started working for him. Did that for about a year. Lived in their house for a year as he moved back from Germany as well, so it was good timing. And then did a year, and still the same thing happened where I just wasn't enjoying myself. It just wasn't for me. I didn't find myself waking up. I want to wake up excited. I want to wake up driven to like do what I want to do that day well, like live that day like 100%. And I just wasn't finding that drive at all. It just wasn't my thing. And during uni, I didn't really know about it, but I did field marketing for Chobani, and that sort of sparked like a little thing inside my brain where I was like, this is like fun, but it's also work. It's like marketing was like sort of my sort of thing. I realized after that, I was like, why not try and pursue something like that, or the entrepreneur sort of side of that as well. So I quit. We were both doing the noni. We would try to, noni's like a fruit that, pretty much like a turmeric shop. It's like a superfruit where people could find links to like helping cure cancer. And there's no one really here anywhere really in Australia had a supply for it because it's such a hard fruit to find because it only grows in certain areas in the Pacific. But we were lucky enough that one of my family friends' dad just started his massive noni production, and I was like, I want to be the first one in to try and distribute that to stores here. So while I was doing my engineering work on the weekends, we'd cold visit random health food shops. Literally just pitch, just rock up and be like, hey, we're from like Noni, this is our product. Like we did our market research. We only had one competitor pretty much everywhere, and we undercut them by like $10 to like try and get our way into the market because that's just the way you got to do. You go in hard. And so we got into visited about 50 stores here in the Gold Coast, cleared that out over a couple of weeks because obviously we had a full-time job and stuff. I couldn't do it every day. And then we're about to move up to Brisbane to like start visiting there and getting our stuff in there, but then that just didn't work out well. I just put that aside. I said I need to stop my job and just, if this is the path I want to go to, I want to spend at least 3 or 4 months just figuring out how we're going to do it right. So I just stopped working, just did market research for 3 to 4 months over the end of like December to like Feb, and then I realized that like I found like we came up with the idea with this because he's always wanted to be a part of something that we were doing anyway. And to co-found something. So then we found this idea, and then it just just went from there. It's been about a year now. And
it's been snowballing ever since.
That's good. So it's really good you've got that, like that. You're both athletes. You're clearly both athletes, but you've also got that spark that you need to be starting any new business, because as you know, man, things don't happen quickly when you first start. So you need to have that dedication to what you're doing and really believe in either your product or what you're trying to.
Exactly. It's that age-old story of finding something you're passionate about and then finding a way to make that your job essentially.
Which is
you guys are
what
living
sounds like you guys have done.
Awesome.
Exactly. And like you can't be profitable straight away, and that's why while I was doing my engineering, I was sitting there, but I was listening to podcasts because I knew my next move was going to be to like try and start something. So every day for that whole year, I'd listen to at least 1 or 2 podcasts based on like entrepreneurs or like learnings and stuff like that. So
you learn a lot, don't you, from podcasts?
100%. Definitely.
You get inspired. You learn things. I mean, I recently watched that came out this week, the new Joe Rogan podcast with Kevin Hart. Wow. I finished that podcast and everything that Kevin was going on about, because he almost died recently. He was in that car accident, so he had like the back surgery and all that.
He had to learn to walk again.
He had to learn to walk again. But like just the mentality of this guy, there's a reason he's gotten to where 100%. He is. It's crazy. And but it's good. Like I was saying to Chris, like teeing up with you guys on this workout today, and doing this, it is so good to find people in the community who have the same mindset and punching the same goals and trying to do the same things.
It's inspirational. It really is. Yeah.
It's really good. All right, let's get into some of these topics. Let's have a good chat. So the first one I have here is the real future of health and fitness. Now, it's very relevant because there's a lot of documentaries on Netflix at the moment about plant-based products versus meat and all this sort of thing. So this is going to be our first topic, the future of sustainable food and what's going to be considered healthy food throughout the world, no matter what country you're in, but like as humanity going forward, because since we were young, you know, we meat and 3 veg, boys. Eat your meat and 3 veg.
Yeah,
You know, drink lots of water, do this and do this.
2
but-
pieces of fruit.
Yeah. But have you guys had any sort of experience in, you know, changing up your diets in any sort of way? I mean, with football, I'm sure something like, you know, the diets of your team would have told you what to eat and drink kind of thing. But also, like, you were telling me, like, when we were in college, like, you were a couple of kilos heavier. You were pushing seriously heavy weights. But you've trimmed down a bit. You're looking really good. So what do you guys do in terms of your diets?
So for myself, it's pretty much I mean, you can read about all these different diets and stuff, but at the end of the day, for me, I believe everybody's made different.
Yeah, 100%.
So not one of us is exactly the same as the rest. So what works for one person is not going to work for the next person.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much just trial and error. I mean, you just got to trial, see what makes you feel good, what makes you feel bad, and slowly cut and kind of... Obviously, you can't cut things fully out, because even things that aren't as good for you, say like a lot of carbs, you still got to have carbs in your diet.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just figured out after a while that if I was having too many carbs, even though I had the mindset that, okay, I'm running a lot for soccer, I need energy. So I was bulking on the carbs and like having meat as well. But then when I actually changed it around, I was having more meat than carbs. I felt a lot clearer in the head. I felt less lethargic after every meal. Just in general, just felt a lot better.
Yeah.
So right now, I probably try and cut the carbs out like in dinner time and stuff like that. So if I want to have a heavy meal, I'll have it for breakfast. I have like a heavy carb loaded breakfast, and then lunch, I'll have like steak with maybe like a bit of rice or tuna or something like that. But then for dinner I try and stay off the carbs or only a little bit. And it just makes me sleep better. It makes me clearer in the head.
So do you think, like, listen to your body after you've eaten and
Exactly.
that'll tell you
Exactly.
whether
I would say to anyone, it's trial and error.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
yourself 2-3 weeks on a diet, see how you feel. If you feel better, then stick with it. If not, then try and find something else, because I mean, what works for me is not going to work for everyone else, and
Yeah,
I know
that's
that.
right.
So I'm not going to say this is the
We're gonna
right
push
way.
through, push something
Because
that
there
way.
is no right. There's no right way. There's no one key to the everyone's got a different.
Yeah.
very
yeah.
good advice.
It's interesting because like you definitely get you get to feel that way by like marketing and all that sort of stuff.
That's
You,
it.
you definitely get
Marketing.
made to feel like there's a
Certain
certain
way.
diet you should be
Exactly, yeah.
eating, or to be healthy you need to do this.
But that's
It's
a
the
sales
quick-
A lot
You
of
gotta
it's fear,
understand,
it's
yeah.
fear driven as well. It's like, don't eat that, don't eat that, you got to eat this.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of education in
Yeah.
those health programs.
It's all based on sales for them. They just
100%.
need,
Yeah, that's it.
They want to make the one meal that gets everyone, so that everyone can buy the one
Exactly.
meal. Whereas
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
And when you were playing football professionally and you were over in Germany, were they very strict on what you needed to eat as an athlete?
In fourth league, it wasn't as bad as what I'd expect. Like first, second, or third would be definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, no one was eating unhealthy.
Yeah.
You can't maintain that level of
Yeah.
fitness or being an athlete,
work
and
output.
your
There's
body
no
just
option.
there isn't an option, because you feel terrible after it if
Yeah.
you're eating bad. You don't have the energy, and then your performance drops. So I mean, all the boys as well are eating a lot of their meals together, so no one's being like, oh, let's go Hungry Jacks. Like there's certain times where we're just like, all right, we'll have a cheat meal or something like that, but
But everyone's keeping each other honest.
exactly.
keeps each other in check.
Yeah,
That's good.
And as long as you get your meals in and all your things in the day, if you want something a little bit extra, but you can't supplement a full meal with something bad, then that's kind of when it becomes an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what about you, Josh?
So I went vegan for like about 5-6 months.
No way.
How did that go?
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
interesting.
Yeah, so I did it it was actually after I finished my uni degree. We went backpacking with my girlfriend, because my girlfriend's been vegan for about 5 years now.
Okay.
So she's the one that introduced it to me, and like originally, like when you get introduced, you're like, just go away. I don't want to eat any, like, you're just a classic like spiel. You're
I'm
like,
a meat eater.
I know exactly. Like I need meat to get like
Yeah.
muscle and that sort of
That's
stuff.
right, yeah.
But then, like after a while, like I just listen. I'm not like an arrogant guy. I'm not going to listen to her. So like after I listen to like her opinion. So like she'll show me stuff. I'll read it. Like, okay, that's interesting. So then I was like, yeah, I'll give it a crack, because it's easier as well while we're traveling.
For sure.
Especially overseas. So then we could just eat together, just vegan meals together.
Yeah.
So then I started. I did it for about 6 months, and it was probably the leanest I got. A lot of carbs and stuff as well, but again, my body's different, and like this is just from my own personal experience. I have no like no like degree in like
Yeah,
any of
yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff.
Dietitian.
This
or
is
Yeah.
all speculation.
Yeah.
No one is here as an
I don't want to
expert.
push anything forward. Actually,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy said this, I'm gonna do this.
No,
But,
no.
and everybody's different as well. Like I think he puts on a bit more if he has more carbs, whereas me, I like my carbs. I can't think without carbs, so I'm pretty much opposite to him.
I'm the same
Yeah.
as you.
Yeah, I need to have carbs.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I need, like,
I get
heavy.
angry.
Yeah,
if I haven't had my carbs.
Literally.
Heavy carbs.
Yeah, and that's just how my body works, and from my own personal experience.
Yeah.
But when I went vegan, I didn't work out once. Well, we backpacked for about 2 or 3 months, and then I went to Fiji with family, and I did it while I was there as well. Was vegan with my family, and then did that for about another month or so. So it was about 5 or 6 months, and didn't work out that much at all. And I reckon I looked like still pretty ripped for
Wow.
what.
Yeah.
After, if we're not working out at all, like we're doing a lot of kilometers walking because we're traveling and stuff like that throughout Vietnam, but I felt good. I didn't have anything against it. Like you start missing the meat, like you just want that feeling, and you try to
Yeah,
find
that
taste.
whole
replacements
The
for it.
substitute.
Yeah,
for it.
substitute for it.
Nice steak.
And like but I'm not like I was raised in the islands, so like I literally would eat tuna and rice every day. So my palate's so bland. I don't care what's as long as I'm
Yeah.
full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
so-
happy with that. So I'm not really fussy eater anyway. It's
So
like
when you say raised in the islands, what was that like?
it was it's different.
Yeah.
It's like I grew up in the Solomons. I came over in year 9. It's like when I was 15 years old, and I did my rest of high school when I was here. But pretty much most of my life is still over there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you were 15.
15, yeah.
You
So
did get the
Like,
full
what do you
experience.
do as a 12-year-old for kicks?
oh, like literally, there's not. That's what like some,
Marbles.
Literally, we had marbles. We'd play like marbles in the sand. Like we had we had a PlayStation then, but like we had one game, and we'd only visit them once a year. So every time we came back, we had to buy another game.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
a year, like, and you just play that game to death.
Did you
Yeah.
appreciate it more?
Oh yeah, 100%. But it gives you like a different perspective on
For
life
sure.
as
Yeah.
well, because everything there is like third world. Like
Yeah.
everything's third world. Like cars, roads are terrible. Everything's
What was the community like? Was everyone more in touch with each other?
They were the community wise in terms of like dances, like all the cultural stuff was very on point. Like I had to learn dances every couple of weeks, like do with my family and friends and stuff like that, just because like it's part of our culture. So we had to do it. Like the nans would be there and they'd smack you if you don't do it right, that sort of stuff. So I've lost a bit of that now since I've moved over, but that used to be like at least a monthly thing within. Every day we're at family houses, like you see the islander houses where everyone's sleeping on the floor and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a
That's
very
so
good like
good.
cultural sort
Yeah.
of connection you have with everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're missing that as a society. Just
Yeah.
that respect
Yeah.
amongst the generations and having those communities. I think it shows.
Exactly, yeah. It helps as well, yeah. Especially with family wise, it just connects your family a lot more, makes them closer. Everyone, that's what you just have massive families, because that's like the most important thing for islanders. I feel is just
It's family.
your family, no matter what.
You don't stay at hotels when you go visit.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
stay with
You're
them.
on the
Well,
floor.
then you get
and you're
offended
going
if you don't
playing.
stay with
Oh,
them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even the nans sleep on the floor. They'd rather the floor because they're so used to it. So we're like,
Yeah.
Nanny, you sleep on like the bed, and she's like, no, I'll sleep on the floor.
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
want that. But
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, you do that.
Crazy.
Yeah,
What a legend.
they're just
So-
used to mats.
Is the diet sort of like, you say like a lot of tuna and rice and stuff like that? Is that, pretty, the whole community's kind of on that?
And then also we call it motu, but it's what they have like the hangi where it's under the ground. We have the exact same
Oh,
thing where you
cool.
heat up the rocks. And
Yeah.
you pretty much heat up rocks with fire for like a couple of hours, and then you wrap stuff in banana leaves.
Yeah.
And you put them in there for a couple of hours, and they come out pretty much all
Yo,
cold.
that sounds good.
We should do that one weekend here.
Yeah, if
try
you can
that.
find
Yeah, we could
somewhere
do
big
that.
enough. You need
Yeah.
a
Go
big
in the
ass-
middle of the sand down there.
For sure. For
That'd
sure.
be so good.
But it's very natural, very fresh produce. Like it was straight from the markets. We just shopped at the
Yeah.
markets. The markets are pretty
Yeah.
much the produce is from like a K away. They just bring it to the markets and.
So interesting question then. So obviously you're eating really fresh stuff over there.
Mm.
If you were to, come to Australia and then buy the same products but like from Woolworths or Coles, you think it's the same?
I was young then, but I do think there's a big difference. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't something I was picky on back then.
Yeah.
But looking back, like when I go back now, like we go back sometimes for holidays and we
Yeah.
get the produce. It tastes different.
Tastes
You notice
different,
now,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not the biggest. Like, I like tuna and rice and like some fishes and stuff, but I don't really eat seafood as much here.
Yeah, okay.
But when I go there, I'm happy to eat seafood
Because
for
it's
every
just
meal.
quality.
I mean, even like when we go like to the island that we're from, like a smaller island off it, every morning the local fishermen that are fishing all night, they literally just pull up on their canoe from out in the ocean,
And they'll bring it to
and
you.
they bring the fish
No
to you,
way.
and it's
Yeah.
just
That's
fresh,
so
like
No,
good.
I
just
feel
fresh.
like
So
sort of
good.
buy
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's swimming that day and it's on your plate that night,
Yeah.
you can't go
It
wrong.
tastes
Yeah.
different. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely
Oh,
tastes different.
100%.
Now, what do you think about, like, I saw, it was probably about a year ago now, I read this article, I think it was some company in the UK that was like drying things like crickets and insects and all that sort of stuff that are apparently really high in protein. And people are literally replacing bags of chips in their diet with
with
insects.
that. Really?
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen
A lot
that.
of Asian countries do it.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking,
You
you
get
know,
protein powders.
if you can get past the initial, oh, that's gross,
Mm.
and just try it. Like
Yeah.
apparently they taste great.
Yeah,
Apparently
I,
they flavor them and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, when I went to Japan, I actually ate some insects.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
No way. Okay. How was it?
I didn't even think it was a thing until
Yeah.
I went to Japan and did this tour there, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, over here you can eat some crickets and that." And I'm like, "What? All right, let's go."
Yeah.
I haven't done this before.
Go on then.
Yeah, go on
That's
then. And they had them coated in some soy, so
Yeah.
it was just pretty much tasted like soy, just like crunchy soy.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Really?
yeah, no, it was all right.
Yeah.
That's
You could
crazy.
eat them like chips for sure.
Yeah.
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 And that's a different culture again. There.
Yeah.
100%.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting that you said that. Like when you went vegan,
Mm.
you still were strong, even though you didn't work out, or you felt strong.
I didn't work out as much, but I felt like I just wasn't like I wasn't getting fat, I wasn't putting on any fat or anything like that, and I was eating a lot. Like I was
Yeah.
eating a lot of food, and I still do now. Like to this day, I'll eat probably 80% vegan.
Yeah.
And like when I'm with like Brandon, like friends like this, if you have a like I don't say no to like food like that because I'm living with Taylor pretty much most
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And we just have pretty much like I have eggs in the house, but
Yeah.
like I don't really mind like
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
she cooks or whatever I
Yeah.
cook. I'll pretty much eat vegan.
How
Still.
do you find your mental like clarity?
Yeah,
is there a difference when you're eating like a high meat diet towards like a vegan
It's
diet?
more like
or-
how you feel after the meal is the biggest thing for me. Like
Okay.
it's like after a meat diet, you feel a bit more like heavy,
Cluggy, yeah.
yeah. But then with the vegan diet, I need to eat more. Like I need like a normal meal, I need to eat double that
Yeah.
Yeah.
to like to be able to feel full. Because then I feel like my body's just burning through a lot quicker. I don't know why if the meat sits in there a bit longer,
Yes,
but
okay.
that's how I feel when I eat. Like you can tell a difference as well, especially when I go from like here back. When I'm at home, I just eat whatever they eat because
Yeah.
it's just I'm not fussy. at
Yeah,
all.
you don't want to be fussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, good to see the choppers coming back. That means there's a bit more tourism going on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
That economy going.
Yeah, they
What-
take
what I-
they
what I
take
love-
people up and they go up and down here, whoop whoop whoop, for about
Yeah.
15 minutes, and they go and land.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
How's the serenity?
Yeah.
What I love about the vegan diet is how clean it is.
Mm.
Like you're not eating anything processed.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you look at it and you're like, oh, I can't have that because it's got this little protein milk in it.
Mm.
And then you're like, why has it got milk in it? It's
Mm.
bread. Why is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you it opens up the ugliness of large scale food manufacturing
Mm,
and all the
100%,
stuff
yeah.
they just throw in food that our
Mm.
body's not used to processing. And
Mm,
I think a lot of people get a lot of benefit out of vegan
Mm.
because it forces that really clean
Mm.
food source, just
Mm.
that natural food
100%.
source.
And there's a lot of layers to it too. It's like going to a vegan diet, right? But then also more organic produce where there's
Mm.
not the chemicals and everything
Yeah.
associated.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I think that's another there's another layer.
Another
Yeah.
Another layer, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. I mean, like going away from food for a second, but using plant-based products for other things.
Mm.
Mhm.
Like we're seeing a lot of is it hemp?
Hemp.
That
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
are made out of now, and bamboo socks and all
Bamboo's
this
huge.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
They
like,
still use a lot of
luggage.
bamboo overseas for scaffolding and everything like that. It's still
I
going
imagine
on.
Yeah.
so. I
Yeah.
imagine so. Do you think like that's gonna be because obviously it depends where you are and like how much things are costing. Different like different countries have different economies and stuff. Like if we go back to the islands, like we're talking about,
Mm.
they wouldn't dream of shipping in like anything to do that in the island. They'll just make it themselves
Yeah.
out of the materials.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
Mm.
you know, we were having a conversation on the podcast last week. You know, starting to manufacture again in Australia.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
And it's an interesting topic where, okay, we are a country that has a lot of natural resources,
Mm.
but are we better off starting to find that new trend of using plant-based products
That's
and,
right.
and all sorts of things
Mm.
to be a bit more sustainable, but in a mass-produced way instead of what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Mm.
There's,
I think it'd be hard because you got to kind of produce it in also a sustainable way.
Yeah,
if you're
it's a
mass
difficult
producing
one.
something,
Yeah.
it's coming out of a warehouse. How much
Mm.
oil are you burning to keep that warehouse open? Like, is it
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
right.
just leveling itself
A
out?
a sustainable solution over the
good point.
board.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. So some
There's
things
a
in
lot of-
society now look sustainable, but are they? For
Mm.
example, like solar panels, right?
Mm.
Yeah, they do use solar energy and things like that, but how much energy does it take to
create.
manufacture and create these? And
Exactly.
if we use this on a
Batteries.
global scale,
Mm.
then what does that look like? And is
Yeah.
that what we want? I'm sure they're fairly efficient, but yeah,
I think it was like
processes like that we need to look into.
it was the same as the Prius when that first came out.
Mm.
It's meant to be a sustainable car, electric car. But when you look at the manufacturing process, and again, I don't know what it is now, I'm just talking about when it first started, they were shipping things in from like 50 different countries to build this car. So you think of all the fuel that was burnt transporting things and
get
getting
it
this
there.
just to get it there. Was it actually doing more harm than good?
Yeah.
Which was a big topic
And
of discussion.
And the electricity that it's running off is
Yeah.
generated from burning oil
That's
and
right.
coal. So
Yeah,
you need that whole solution, like you were alluding to before,
Yeah.
where it's like if you're going to do it properly from the start, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to do that?
On scale,
I mean, I think it'll take a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
Because it's not only the manufacturing, it's also what happens when it becomes either out of date or not in use. How does that break down?
Yeah.
Does it, you know what I mean? Like a Prius, okay, sweet, it's good for the environment. What happens when you get sold or when it breaks down and
you
you
still
can't
got to
use
crush
it?
it and
It's got to
bury
crush
it
and it's going to,
somewhere.
it's going to end up being in
Or
the ground
melted or
somewhere.
something. Yeah.
Well, that's
So-
like
it's got to be recyclable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
like the electric vehicles now. So we still got lithium mining going on. So we're still digging big holes in the earth. We're still mining. Yeah, they're electric vehicles, but there's still a lot going on with them. Like the amount of copper, I'm pretty sure there's 10 times more copper used in an electric vehicle.
For real?
So yeah,
Yeah, it was 'cause of the batteries, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot more copper mining is going to be going on in the world, and
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
have to have the energy supply
Yeah.
for that. And
Yeah.
where's that energy going to come from? Is it going to come from coal power, the second industrial revolution phase, or is it going to come from these renewables?
It's
And
like-
then how are they going to link?
You need the conversations to start going in that direction for sure, but you can't rush the agenda
Yeah.
for a political ribbon cut to say this is the political party
Yeah.
that did it. You know, it has to be all right. This is the 10-year, 50-year, 100-year plan. We had this industrial revolution bang where everyone was just making bang coin,
Yeah.
like big dollars. Everything was really cheap, and it was all about the triple bottom line. And we're only just starting to realise the impact that's having on the environment. The sort of ticking time bomb where you have a culminating point where the Earth just can't sustain it. So we do need to change this sort of crazy freight train that we're on, but we need to ensure that we're looking at it from a holistic
Exactly.
point of
That's
view
right.
to say what's the big picture solution that's sustainable and not
Yeah.
just kind of falsify to say, yep, we did it with this,
Yeah.
when behind the scene it's just
Yeah.
a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point to raise because I'm reading this book at the moment. So for those viewing on YouTube, you'll be able to see it's called Blackout, and it's actually written by an Australian man, Matthew Warren. It's really interesting. I'm only 38 pages in, so I'm no expert, but he talks about all of that. He talks about the political link to the energy industry and how we have to have that longer vision approach and have a lot of the scientists in on this and running this and link with the politicians to get a long-term plan in. So yeah, he goes about how the grid works and all the grids in Australia and how a lot of them are coal-powered and they're getting cut down because of the political agendas with climate change, which is fair. Climate change is happening and things like that. But we need to be sustainable in the approach because it's how energy is pushed into the grid and the consumption. People are using more phones, more laptops,
Absolutely.
electric cars hooking up, and renewables are good. They do work, but let's say like you have solar panels and there's cloud cover, your panels won't get that energy. And distributing that energy into the grid will be less when the grid might require more energy consumption. So we can't just shut down our power stations yet with coal power. We need to have a slow transition and move it sustainably across to the sustainable energy.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm fresh into this book. It's a good read so far. Blackout by Matthew Warren, and it has a title there: How is energy-rich Australia running out of electricity? So yeah, very good read if you're into that.
That's interesting that it's totally based in Australia.
It is.
That's really good. 'Cause
Yeah,
if
I
you
like reading books based on
Yeah,
Australia.
most things like that are probably talking about the US market or China.
Yeah,
or something.
that's
It's
right.
good to see one locally.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
it is. It's good.
Like while you were just saying that, something just popped into my head where we're talking about the ways of the future and the fitness industry and how things are going. Like over in the States, something called the Peloton bike just went crazy. Yeah, it's literally just one of the bikes you get in your house, like a trainer,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, with the handles.
Yeah,
Soul bike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Soul
Soul
bike.
bike. I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
hell though.
It's a good way.
I'm just thinking. Imagine if you did something as simple as, and again, I don't know if it's as simple. I'm not an expert in, I'm not an electrical engineer or anything.
Yeah.
An apartment block, for example, that's not connected to the main grid. You get a bunch of people in there, like you market this place as if you want to live here, this is a fit community. What that means is if you want power in your apartment, get on your bike, and we've made it so that bike will generate the electricity in your apartment.
Yeah. You wonder why gyms haven't looked into it, and I think they did, and it just wasn't. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you get you light up a light bulb for 3 hours.
But you're not making anything on the stove.
Yeah, and if you work 5 hours on a bike, then you got to eat more food, and then that has. But it's not the most efficient motor. But there's something there.
Yeah, I'm just.
You're on the bike anyway.
Yeah, and you know, because if you're saying, you know, one, I'm getting fit, and two, you know, I'm doing my bit. You know, I think there's a lot of people in the world
Get fit and do your bit.
who would get around it.
Call it
But because like everything, I mean, even clothes. Coming back to the plant-based stuff, you know, just more sustainable clothes that are coming out, and all these things. It's such a trend at the moment. You just got to wonder, at what point does what we've put in place actually change? And you're right, it's definitely a political shift that needs to happen. But you know, no one cares what's happening in 10 years. It's all about
more
the
of
next
a long-term agenda.
People
More
didn't
of a
realise
long-term
that,
agenda.
because the information's there. You can't hide anymore. Like, it was all people making a lot of money, and they knew what was happening. And now with the internet, with freedom of flow of information, we all know. We can't deny it anymore.
Can't hide it anymore.
We're on the trajectory to our own destruction. Something's got to change.
Yeah, definitely.
So we just need the right blueprint to roll out, and everyone will get behind it. It'll be expensive. You won't have as many stuff and junk. The things that you buy, it won't be a $10 radio. It might be $100, but you'll look after it and you'll have it forever. That's where we need to get back to.
Because that's where we came from. And just got to cheap the disposable society, is what I call it. I mean, you move out of a place, you just throw your microwave away, you throw this away, because you just go to Kmart and get another
That's
one
why
for
I
the next
like your
place.
product,
And it
actually,
goes
because
to-
you make it from
Recycled stainless steel.
And
then also, like, I think of it like I'm my own audience. I love this thing. From day one, for a year now, I've used it every single day, and not
I
even
love how
lying.
firm it is. Like, the rollers at the
It's
gym,
solid.
they don't do anything for me.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
thing, you can feel it.
But it is
Quality.
recycled stainless steel as well, and it's just, I think of it as well. Like, imagine how many water bottles you buy, like plastic
right.
ones. In the past, I was the
Just
same
lose
culprit for
them.
that. Yeah, you're losing it, throw it in the bin, just buy another one.
It's a perfect size too,
Yeah.
where you can have enough liquid in it, and then
I got a cupboard with like 14, and I've probably got like 14 different lids.
Exactly.
Nothing fits.
So imagine how much, like, I haven't bought one bit of like water at all since for a year now. Imagine how much like plastic bottles I would have saved in that time.
Heaps.
Which is like another thing as well we like get into as well with our products as well. Just a sustainable, recyclable, eco sort of thing that we try to push as well.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we want a bottle that lasts pretty much forever.
That's nuts. So what's next for the Aquaflux boys? I mean, we were chatting at our workout today, where you guys, you know, you even G'd us up, and you said, no, we want to start doing like a sort of once a month, real hectic thing. Like, apparently we're running 50 Ks, like real soon. So
I'm in.
let's see how that goes.
Well, the idea came from 2 weeks ago. One of Brandon's schoolmates, one of his friend's daughter just got diagnosed with a rare blood leukemia. So he's trying to raise money for her to help deal with like the whole process and all that. So he did 2,000 burpees in one day. So
I saw
that
that.
is
I was just
nuts.
like, that's crazy, boys. That's just next
it
level.
was crazy.
Yeah.
So I messaged the other one of the other boys, because there's meant to be two of them doing it. So Jack and Alex. So they're both doing it. So we were like, I just said, we'll come and support you. I'll hop in for 20 minutes. Help them out, because there's two of them there. We've turned up. They're already 2.5 hours in, 3 hours in.
Oh, what time did we rock up? Probably around
10.
10.
Yeah.
So, but they started at 6, but then they had like a 1 or 2 hour break to have breakfast. To eat, and then they kept going.
But when he turned up, Jack was completely out. So the other guy, his whole body, he's literally
Was
everywhere
cramping.
spasming
He was
and cramping.
walking like a stick.
And he couldn't even undo any of his muscles. So it was just poor Alex doing it himself. So I was like,
Jesus.
I'll hop in, and I was like, I'll still do half an hour. But then you could tell he was like enjoying having someone there. So I was like, I'm gonna end up doing this whole thing on I ended up finishing it. I only ended up doing 600 around 600.
Only 600.
But compared to his 2,000, which he did that day.
That's nuts.
He's a
He was
machine.
an animal, So then after that, it was a good cause as well. We're helping someone out. We're helping the community out as well. We thought, and just mentally as well, it's good once a month to try and make a
test
challenge.
yourself.
It just increases your governance.
Exactly,
Like, it sets the bar higher.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
for a good cause, and it's just like something you can look forward to. That you can challenge yourself mentally once a month to be able to do. You hear 2,000 burpees, you're like, no way.
Yeah.
There's no way you're doing that. But then when you actually do it, it's just all mindset and just how far you want to push
And he
yourself.
didn't train burpees leading
He
up
didn't
to
train. He obviously ate the right way and stuff, but he was like, "How am I going to train for 2,000 burpees?"
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
"You're
that-
right."
I just got to do 2,000 burpees.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that like we thought about was like if we're gonna do this every month, we want something that you can't train for that. That's
Yeah.
literally just your mental state and what you got, like
Yeah.
what you got in you.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
If you don't have it about you, then you can't get it done.
Yeah.
But there's no way you're gonna be training to do 2,000 burpees or
Yeah.
So we want similar challenges to that we can do maybe once a month. We'll see how that goes because I'm
Yeah.
still, my body's still like sort of that. My
Yeah.
elbows are still ruined
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
still smashed us, and you just did
Yeah.
600 burpees a couple of days ago. So.
We want to do something like that every month, and if you boys are around as well,
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
the weekends, we'd love to
Definitely.
Get amongst it.
get
I
amongst
mean,
it, yeah.
it's always good to just challenge yourself.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
it puts yourself. It takes putting you in situations where you're uncomfortable
Yeah.
to really
Yeah.
know your limits, and
Exactly.
especially when it comes to fitness. And like you said, it's such a mental game.
It is mental,
Like
yeah.
if we suddenly we're running 50Ks in a month, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do it. Like it'll be like a run walk situation.
Yeah,
Like as
exactly.
long as I'm
100%,
getting the 50Ks done.
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
the goal.
that's
Yeah.
the you
Yeah.
get to the finish line. That
Exactly.
doesn't matter how
Yeah,
or
yeah,
how
yeah.
long it takes you, as long as you
Yeah.
get to the finish line.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That it's in itself is the achievement, really.
Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah.
mindset for life, really.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just
100%.
set your
Discipline.
goal and just
Yeah.
no matter what it takes,
Yeah.
just get there.
Yeah, if you
Just
gotta
get
walk
it
there, if
done.
you gotta run there,
Yeah.
whatever, just
Yeah.
get there.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned, and
Yeah,
we'll
you'll
be
find
doing
out.
some cool challenges with the Aquaflux boys, and for a good cause.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely find out more about that cause we were just talking about, and if we do this run,
Yeah.
you guys will be hearing about it, so you can get involved.
Definitely.
You'll see
Yeah.
us in a lot of pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it'll be good.
Yeah.
It'd be worth it,
Yeah,
for
it'd be
sure.
worth it.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. This has
Yeah,
been a really
it's
good
awesome.
one. I've learned a
Yeah.
lot about diets, professional football, and like just the mental
Yeah.
state of what it takes to be fit guys like yourselves. So thank you very much, and
That's right. Thanks
and
for
for this
having us.
morning
Yeah,
and taking
appreciate
us through the
having us.
workout.
Yeah.
man. So
Hopefully
thank
more
you.
to come eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Looking forward to these challenges and a couple more workouts.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Let's do it. Well, thanks again, boys, and cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
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 Cheers. If you got any beer left,
Yeah.
thirsty
A bit
boys. No, good. Cheers, eh?